There we go. Everybody hit the like button right there. The difference between me and a chump like this. It's clear. Welcome to One Crack News. It's your boy Carcino here. Let's get into it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the page, all those wonderful things. We need to get into this, so we definitely need to cover this subject and take it seriously the way it needs to be. This is a case of a clown named d8888 who's been making a living off of exploiting the death of young Black Americans in this country, and him being an immigrant from Jamaica, coming over here thinking it's funny when Black people die and kill each other. And he interviewed these people and give them a platform so they could spark up attention and use it to antagonize other Blacks so they can get killed. And he makes money off the content with no atonement at all from him. You know, it's reckless. And his reckless behavior is he's able to slither like a snake and do these wicked people's bidding. And because I choose not to do certain acts, you know, we're ostracized or pushed to the side by mainstream, and that's cool with us. But that doesn't mean we're going to take a blind eye to the behaviors of d8888 and sit back and just act like what he's doing isn't terrible for the community and horrible. This man spent 2 hours plus covering a death of a Black man, a shooting death of a Black man. Let that sink in. 2 hours he spent covering a shooting death of a Black man. And he was so damn happy. Fake everything.
And shared intelligence that helped.
Look, it's not a joke that they sitting there. He's acting like it's a joke, performing. Look at him, performing like it's a joke. They're arresting the people that did murdered another Black man senselessly over some street business that he knows nothing about, and he wants to exploit it for money. And the people that run their ass over there to his page, I look at y'all because y'all look ridiculous. Y'all look foolish. And all these people in his chat over here, all fools. Young people who are misled by some fat asshole with jewelries are just ruining them.
Helped us in this case.
He wants to drink all these different drinks. And
their agency also.
This isn't a game, dog. This people losing their lives, and you thinking like, oh, this is gonna be a big day for me. These people who are investigating this case, and look at him, he happy as can be because he got content now. I can make content. Look at me. Look at me. I'm happy.
Hey, did you know you might get a big...
You're happy because you can make content of a Black man dying. Where they do this at? Where they find people like this? Seriously, it's a joke. This clown and myself, we're nothing alike at all. No morals. No nothing. He acts like he's servicing. I'm informing the community. How are you informing the community something that was already informed by the Tampa Police Department? You didn't do any investigating. You didn't hit the streets. You didn't talk to any of these people, so you're not investigating any goddamn thing. All you're doing is commenting on the investigation that's already took place and is taking place right now that led to these arrests. They're doing the investigation. You're not a cop. You're a punk little bitch. Now, I don't wish death upon anybody, but to see this clown sit here and laugh and make jokes, and he calling these people stupid, but you're doing interviews with people talking about the death and the murder of this man, and these people are going to jail. You're just like the people that have oppressed us for years. You're worse because you should know better. Even though you're an immigrant, you've been in this country long enough to know better and have a better. You're a sorry excuse for a human being. And this is what, if we ever spoke, I would tell you to your face. But you couldn't stand close to me because I would smack the shit out of you. I really would. And the problem is you don't seem to get it. It's not nobody cares about your money. Nobody cares about what you think of, like you famous now. Nobody give a damn about that. We don't give a damn about who you hang with. This is morally how we feel as a people when we see you and you exploiting people dying. These young black men out here killing each other, and instead of you denouncing it and saying it's a bad thing, you go out to interview these people because you were like, oh, I got to get an interview before he get arrested and go to jail for murder. I got to go interview him because I think he's going to get arrested because I think they murdered homie. But then you sit there and promote it and push it and fan the flames on your channel to push that energy. And they know you got a lot of following. So these people that's gangster rappers in the streets, they gonna use you to push their message across. Like, yo, I want Act to post this Act, this a real gun, watch this, I'm finna ride and slide on my ops. And then you go out there, oh, he's standing on business, sliding. I'll be like, your kind of nonsense is cancerous to our neighborhood. It's cancerous. Everything you do, you glorify the violence and people losing their lives. 2 hours and 39 minutes you spent talking about a dead man. Talking about a man who got murdered and showing the arrest over and over again of the suspects. Why did you feel a need to do that? Akademiks, why did you feel a need to go over and over and over and try to exploit all these people and show us in handcuffs and all this, and you have no context to anything? You're just like a pig in slop. You're not responding to the case. You're not giving any advice. You're sitting here fanning flames so that young black people showing this man getting murdered in a car over and over again is doing what? While you sitting there pouring yourself shots. And you acting like this is some kind of party. This is why we got to talk about it. Because it's people like him that make it wrong. You learn no real information from Akademiks because he doesn't know anything. He's not a part of the investigation. Yvette, that was the smartest thing he could have told him. But he needs to stop speaking on street issues. But that's how he gets his money. He's a death profiter. He sits back, fans the flames, and hope one side takes out another and the other one gets arrested. That's the name of the game. Oh, this thing's building up. Let me interview him before he gets murdered. Let me interview him before he goes to jail. The DJ Vlad formula. They all run over to Vlad because they don't know any better. Most of these people are not on the internet. They don't hear what's going on. They say, oh, this guy gets a lot of hits. I need to advertise with him. Meanwhile, he's got 2 sexual harassment cases against him, Akademiks. Talk about that. Talk about your case. Talk about what's going on with you. He said his family is the same way. I don't know his family, Chris, but they might be the same way. I know the mom took advantage of a situation, you know. But hey, that old rich white man took care of her and flew his butt over here to this country. Akademiks has been a clown. And you think this is okay to do, to make fun of the people that got arrested for the murder? You don't know nothing about these people in Jacksonville. They got family members too, buddy. Then you seeing all the people that's getting arrested, 17-year-olds, young black people, probably under the influence of drugs, alcohol, etc. In the streets, warm with people. And now they swooping in to make arrests, lock people up. And for what? This is the only way you can make money on the internet is somebody die? You need somebody to die? Akademiks was dying on the YouTube. Nobody was dealing with him no more. Once the Drake thing kicked off, that recharged the battery and got people going back to him when this whole Drake thing kicked off with Kendrick. So he came up like a fat rat. So now he's like, I'm back. But now it's time to get the gerbil out of here. We got to get rid of this gerbil. He's scum. He's literally scum. He made his come up off of people in Chicago dying and him making fun of it. That's who Akademiks is. That's what he's about. And you think somebody would say, okay, I'm finna change. I'm not going to be that kind of guy anymore. But nope. He says, oh, no, I'm not that guy anymore, to try to change his face because he's embarrassed of his past. He embarrassed how he came up. He's embarrassed. because he knows he's a clown. Well, no one has to worry about it because we all gonna see. The whole world gonna figure it all out. And when they do, and his day comes and he falls, the people that he created, meaning the people he got running around doing the same garbage he's spewing. Because there's other academics now. These people thinking this is what it's cool to do this. And you know what they gonna be getting? They head knocked off. They're gonna be getting their head knocked off their shoulder. And you know why their head gonna be getting knocked off the shoulder? Because ain't nobody told them this is not a cool thing to do. They're gonna say, well, academics do it. It's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. He's not reporting the news. He's not reporting the news. That's not reporting. Okay. He's actually giving his perspective to the police press conference. He's supposed to be doing a breakdown of it, but he's not. He's exploiting the death of a rapper. And then he's exploiting the people that's getting arrested and making fun, making jokes, thinking like it's a game. He's not reporting on anything. He's too stupid to know that these people got people that care about them, that these people going to jail, they got family members too. Julio Fulio, who you over here basically making fun of or just acting like somebody just dropped some soap, he got people that cared about him. And somebody's gonna get real fed up and tired of you keep talking about they dead homies like that, huh? You keep disrespecting people who's deceased, and you think this is all a game that you can keep playing, and you keep running up that tree. Eventually, something's gonna happen to you. I'm not wishing it, but you got a real problem. You have a real problem. And I don't know what your problem is and what happened to you in your life that screwed you up like this, but you got a real issue, man. That you don't have any moral compass at all. And all you know how to do is exploit people who die. No, because if he was really covering it, you let the police be the police. It's not 2 hours and 30 minutes worth of you to try to act like you the police. The police didn't spend 2.5 hours talking about a dead man investigation. Then a suspect got murdered. He made a whole nother video just to glorify this man getting in a shootout with the police, who was named as the fourth suspect. You want to joke about how he looked old for his age. Oh, that dude is 30? Oh, he looked like he's 45. These are not joking matters. Look at him. Life over. Look at this. Life over is his title. Akademiks reacts to fourth suspect in Fulio murder having a standoff with police. Life over. Like it's a game. And YouTube let them get away with this shit. But then they jump on anybody else throat saying, hey, you said the N-word on your video. But why? Because he's pushing their agenda. Listen to this. This is the police report. This is how they covered it.
The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and the ATF. These individuals took extreme measures to try to cover their actions, but they were no match for our investigators. Isaiah Chance, Elisa Andrews, Sean Gaithright, Davion Murphy, and Rashard Murphy are all accused of playing a role in Jones's death and are all charged with one count of murder in the first degree, premeditated with the discharge of a firearm, and one count of conspiracy of murder in the first degree, premeditated with the discharge of a firearm. Chance, Andrews, and Gaithright were arrested over the weekend in Jacksonville. Davion Murphy and Rashard Murphy are still fugitives of justice, and we are working closely with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and the U.S. Marshals to apprehend them. On June 23rd, Tampa police officers responded to a shooting on McKinley Drive and located 4 victims. One person, later identified as Charles Jones, was pronounced deceased. Jones was in town celebrating his birthday and posted on his social media his locations several times throughout that night. Surveillance video was critical in this investigation, as suspects were seen on video following Jones from location to location. This shows the lengths that these individuals were willing to go through and achieve that this murder would occur. At 4:15 in the morning, Jones began to head to a hotel on McKinley. One of the suspect vehicles is seen following the victim. However, instead of following them into a parking lot, they stage across the street. At 4:38, 3 shooters exit a vehicle and walked in the direction of the hotel. They murdered Jones with a handgun and 2 rifles. This barrage of gunfire also struck 3 additional victims who miraculously survived this incident. Let's look at this video. This is at the hotel, and you can see the shooters are getting in position for their. The investigation would later reveal.
I'm not showing the shooting. I refuse to show this man getting shot and losing his life. Unlike DJ Akademiks, who would love to show you over and over again people getting shot, young Black people being shot. But I don't see him doing this with white people, and there's white people being shot. He's not reporting on any of those things.
Reveal that the 3 armed shooters were Sean Gaithright, Rashard Murphy, and Davion Murphy. Detectives used footage from the scene, license plate readers, and phone logs to identify two vehicles and link them back to the suspects.
Does that matter?
Furthermore, it was found that the shooters are members of or affiliated with rival gangs of Jones that go by ATK and 1200. Jones was part of the 6 Block gang. Detectives believe that the ATK and the 1200 worked together to target Jones as part of an ongoing feud in Jacksonville. I want to send a clear message to anyone that the city of Tampa is not where you want to come to settle a dispute. You will be charged, you will be arrested, and you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent possible. Furthermore, if you're a gang member, there's no alleged immunity through a cone of silence, as our detectives will find evidence needed to make an arrest and hold everyone accountable, just as we did in this case. Then you will be prosecuted by our tenacious state attorney, Susie Lopez.
Now, I'm glad this Taisha Wilder made this statement, because this is exactly what we're talking about. Why talk about something if you're not going to show it? That's, I guess you're trying to say, why Akademiks is a top 5 podcaster. You see the type of ignorance that we got to deal with, people? You see that? What do we have to do with what do showing a man get shot have to do with being a top podcaster? If this is not some troll account, this is just part of the ignorance. No one cares about where they try to put him or rank him. This is what part of the problem is. This is when it turns people's brains to mush. Why talk about it if you're not going to show it? Why do I need to show a black man getting shot over and over again? Doesn't serve a purpose.
Today would not be possible without the assistance of our law enforcement partners in Jacksonville, who collaborated with us and shared intelligence that helped us in this case. Their agency also assisted with many search warrants, locating and arresting these dangerous individuals. At this time, I would like to invite Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters, followed by State Attorney Susie Lopez.
The reason why this case was solved so fast because it didn't happen in Jacksonville. It happened in Tampa. So now that you thought you were going to go back to Jacksonville and be able to rest. No, the Tampa police, they have a task force now because of all of this. So now they can go past jurisdictions where you think you're in someone else's jurisdiction and it does not rely to you. It does. They can work with Jacksonville. They can work with their task force department, and they have a gang task force. They put you in that gang task force, and they can come in and swoop in and come and get everybody. Now they can slap a RICO charge on you and arrest the entire gang. So now you're going in bunches. When RICO cases used to be for international and drug use, cartels and mobsters. Now they just said, well, no, if it's gangs, now we can move that law and arrest people who we put in a gang. As you see, YSL is going through a RICO case right now. So you have to ask yourself these key factors that's coming into play when you make these type of decisions. Just because you did it out of town Where did you do it? You did it the next town over, basically, which is Tampa, and they go back to Jacksonville. That's still like right next door. So now you're gonna have problems anyway. And all they're gonna do, mostly all these guys document a lot of the stuff they do on social media and all of this trash. I just don't understand what was going on in the feud because I didn't know anything about it. As to why they had a need to try to take this man's life. He had been shot numerous times before, but academics saw this as an opportunity to mock, make fun of, crack jokes. It's nothing funny about a black man getting murdered and other black people going to jail. There's nothing funny about that. I just don't see the humor.
Thanks, Chief. So good afternoon. I'm TK Waters, Sheriff of Duval County, Jacksonville, Florida. Thank you, Chief Burkhall, for inviting me to stand with you as we announce these murder arrests. Today, 3 dangerous criminals are off our Florida streets and in police custody where they belong. These individuals have chosen lives of urban terrorism, and with their arrests, we show Tampa, Jacksonville, and the rest of Florida, the rest of this state, that we hold violent criminals accountable. At the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, we will always work together with our law enforcement partners to ensure that our communities are free of those who choose violence over peace. I want to applaud the investigators from Tampa PD and JSO for their committed collaborative work to bring violent criminals to justice. What I saw in this partnership evidenced the very best of information and resource pooling to ensure public safety. In closing, I want to directly speak to those who choose violence and those who embrace a culture that glorifies violence. Florida.
A culture that glorifies violence. Academics.
Tampa, JSO, Jacksonville, Miami, wherever you are, will not tolerate foolishness, will not tolerate shootings and needless violence. We will not make excuses for poor decisions. We'll hold you accountable for your criminal actions. Florida is a state of law and order. Law enforcement agencies in this state will always work together to protect the good and decent people who chose to live within the law. And we will always work together to ferret out those who choose the lives of violent crime. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. The ongoing fight between these two groups spilled over into Tampa last month. Let me be clear, the feud stops here. All 5 of these defendants are facing life in the Florida State Prison, even the ones who didn't pull the trigger. In Florida, if you participate in the planning of a murder, you can be held accountable for the person's death. And that is what we intend to do here. There were 3 people who pulled the trigger. You saw it on the video. 5 people, though, are charged with murder. The level of planning and coordination between these 5 defendants was truly alarming. It is clear that they all had one purpose in coming to Tampa, and that was to kill. And let's not lose sight of the fact that there are innocent victims in every homicide case, the loved ones who are left behind. His fans knew him as Julio Fulio, but to his mom, he's Charles. We're fighting to make sure that she gets justice. I was able to speak with her this morning before she got to Tampa, and she's in Tampa with us today. I wanted to let her know that my office takes gun violence very seriously. And I let her know that these 5 defendants will be held accountable for their calculated actions. The defendants are in custody, 3 of them in Jacksonville, and will be moved here to appear in court. My office will file a motion for pretrial detention to ensure that these dangerous individuals are held behind bars as they await trial, where they belong. I want to commend the Tampa Police Department for this investigation, as well as our collaboration with JSO. The TPD investigation developed a mountain of evidence, and we will work hard to ensure that justice is served for all victims in this case. Thank you very much.
I have some time for questions.
Sure, it looked like a scene from the movie. Man, sit out. Speak on the level of planning to carry it out.
It's extensive, and the state attorney spoke about it, how the mountain of evidence, this would not be possible if it wasn't for our hardworking detectives in getting evidence from videos, tag readers, and cell phones. This amount of work I have not seen before, and it would not be possible if it wasn't through our detectives and through us working collaboratively together with the JSO and the ATF and the U.S. Marshals.
Chief, that reference ATK is led by rapper and in the hours after the second shooting, released a video stating which reference to violence. I'm just curious if that rapper is under investigation and possibly
So our investigation's still ongoing. And Sheriff, if you have any other details that you want to speak onto that.
So Young and Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We are consistently monitoring those groups. We have people that are always watching them. I won't speak to the chief's investigation. That's up to TPD. We don't have an investigation on him right now, but he can't move around in Jacksonville without us knowing about it. And that's for the betterment of our community.
any words about the suspect that you are out there looking for that obviously will still know that y'all were reporting?
We're pretty confident they already know, and to turn yourselves in so we can have this resolved peacefully. And of course, to anybody out there that knows where they're at, to let us know so we can get them in custody and hold them accountable.
Chief, we've seen gang violence here in the city of Tampa, and now they're coming from other cities. What's the department doing to combat?
Right now, look at what we're doing right now. We're bringing to justice 5 people in a murder in a case that is very difficult to make an arrest. It's us working collaboratively with the community, with Jacksonville. And if this doesn't make a statement, I don't know what does.
Second question, that area where it happened, around Bush Gardens, there's a single incident just this month alone.
Well, this is going to be a game changer. See, if Akademiks was really reporting, he'd be reporting on what's actually being said instead of trying to go ahead and fan the flames and just make all this go all into the social media accounts, look up pictures of them throwing gang signs and showing guns. He's trying to basically entertain the minds of the young people into nonsense. He knows y'all like stupidity, so he's going to keep making that type of videos and sensationalize a tragedy. Yeah, exploit. All these people are being exploited. All of his subscribers are being exploited. And then you see you have people just like that Trisha person that came up here and made that stupid statement. It was just a cry, like a cry for help. It was the dumbest statement I probably ever read. Why talk about something if you're not going to show it? That's why he's a #1 podcaster, because he showed a man get shot. Really? It's tragic. And we have young people that think like this. They make YouTube videos too, and they show Black people getting killed at gas stations and joke about it. And they was like, why don't you go out to these other people? Because they get it from him. He's the head of the snake. He's the head of the snake. I was very confused why he was obsessed with finding their Instagram. There's no need to be confused. The confusion should be, why am I watching him? Yeah, he got famous for doing this nonsense. Poisoning the well. Sensationalizing violence against our own people. The confusion should be, why are we watching him? But we got young Black folks who think it's okay because they don't know any better. They think this is normal. He's reporting on it. No, he's not. They're doing the reporting. He's adding nothing to the value of this. He's not worried about the investigation and the information that they provided. He wants to go ahead on social media and get all of this sensationalism, showing all the videos and, oh, she was sleeping with him, and oh yeah, he was sleeping with her, and then he just sent the message to the other guys, and then they came and smoked on him. Like it's a game, like it's Call of Duty or something. So the FBI and the ATF is involved in this. And this is what this police chief was saying from Tampa, that the FBI and the ATF got involved. So therefore, they were able to get into the phone records. And once the ATF got involved, because of the type of weapon it was used, these people are not registered to have these kind of weapons. Now you have ATF crimes and everything else. All of them are going to get life. They're not seeing the light of day. They're not going to make bail, nothing. This is going to be a case that's going down, and other people are going to fall with it. Unfortunately, this is what happens when you deal with street violence in such a way. That's why people who do these kind of crimes, most of them go out in a blaze and a hail of bullets because they don't care about anything. And this is the type of stuff we fight against. We want our people to start caring about things again, like life, period. There's so many people, our people, doing drugs, lean, Molly, Xan, popping all these pills to make them more subjective to nonsense. Then they get hyped up off all this drill music. Y'all used to say, Cena, why you don't cover drill in Chicago? Because you scared. I didn't listen to drill. That was not my era of hip hop. I did not get all into the drill. Drill time. You had to have bars for me to listen to the song. It's not my genre of music. So I didn't cover it. Yeah, it's tragic too. Because Akademiks is at a point now where he ain't got to do that no more. He don't have to do this no more. But you get Adam 22, you get Vlad, you get all of these people in the circle, and then they say, just keep exploiting Black people. Don't worry about it. Keep doing it. And this is the cycle that this stuff happens in. Now, the reason why this case got solved so fast, and that everybody's like, I can't believe this is getting solved so fast, is because of where it happened at. This happened in an area where there is no gun violence. At this place where they were at, that was a place where they don't have violence in that area like that. And this is going to mess up business in that area. That's a thriving area and residence where that took place. So economically, it's bad for business. No one wants to go to a place where they feel like they could get hit with an AR-15 And in that place, that is a high economy area. Okay. It's not where they would call a red zone. You see, you learn real information here. We don't do sensationalism. We don't do exploitiveness here. That's what that fool does. And we would never be alike. I don't care how much money they paid. I would never do that. That's why these things are happening right now. They got motivated to go over there because of that neighborhood. That neighborhood wasn't going to tolerate that happening in that area. Somebody had to get arrested. Yeah, Vic Mensa had to tell Akademiks about his behavior. Absolutely. Well, welcome to the page, man. We appreciate it. Yeah, well, that's why they moved to, and they were motivated to solve this case as fast and quickly as possible, because that is a high vacation and tourist area. People rent and travel from out of town. They come in and bring money and spend money in that area. They normally rent those places to stay and visit. They bring their families, and these are like expensive places to rent. So they choose very carefully who they select. Absolutely. They supposedly had done that. People disrespecting dead people. I don't even know where that's even, why would that even be popular? Why would that even be the case? He was almost done for. Like, that was almost it for him. Yeah, it was almost all she wrote for Academics. If it wasn't for Drake and Kendrick's situation, yeah, he was going through it. Yeah, he was doing 9-hour live streams. Before Drake and Kendrick, this dude was doing 9-hour live streams so that he can make money, because now he's got to ride this. When he died, all he did was exploit it. He spent 2 hours and 30 minutes talking about a 13-minute video. Not focusing on what the officers are saying. He's actually focusing on them getting arrested, showing the shooting over and over again. He going over, let's analyze the shots. Look at the gunshots. It hit the glass. Oh, it went there. Oh, the gunshot hit there. See, this just gets us more focused on the nonsense. We got YouTubers out here that's filming gas stations, using surveillance footage from gas stations to make fun of and show people getting shot at gas stations, and losing their lives, people getting shot up, and they think it's a funny thing. And there are people from my city on YouTube doing this nonsense. It's crazy. All for hits and views. I don't care about that. If I'm going to get hits and views off of what I'm doing, and as long as I'm not doing that, I feel better. I know I can walk with my head high knowing I ain't did nothing like that and refuse to do something like that. I don't care if they tried to offer me money. They tried to get me to go down that road. And I said, nah, I'm good. Do you forget I was the one getting millions of views? I was getting way more views than him. I was doing 400, 800,000 views. These dudes were not doing my numbers. Y'all don't remember me back then. On the Casino for Life channel, those are the numbers we did. Every little video we put out was doing 700,000, 600,000, 1 million views. They put a stop to me because I wouldn't play ball. But I would never be cool with this guy. Because his morals is off. He's all about monetary BS. Making money is cool, but how you make it is even cooler. Right? I don't know if dude's a killer. I don't know him. All I'm saying is it's not a good idea to sensationalize someone being murdered. This dude was acting like he was cool, King Von's homeboy. Akademiks sat up there and act like him and Von was the best of friends. Interviewing him, all this stuff. As soon as Von got murdered, all he did was roll right over to Quando Rondo, his op. Yeah, that's what he did. And he made about 15 videos about it. Interviewing Quando, Rondo. Oh, no. And the city still let it ride. Now Dirk's my man. Because they go to him because he gets the views or whatever. And they run to him to use him. And I'm like, do y'all have any morals? Do y'all see what's going on? Y'all let clowns like this go around and rock. What has Akademiks done for the community? Nothing. When I put him on blast for that, he gonna go to somebody and get him $500. He's like, she got a charity in Inglewood, so I'm gonna pay like $500, or I'm gonna give her $1,000. I'm gonna spread it around. Trying to, like, that's gonna justify. I'm like, dog, you making millions off them in the war of Chirac. Talking about this little goon just died. I heard the videos because I never used to watch your crap. Then I went back and said, well, let me see what they talking about. And then I remember it was like one video and I stopped it like 10 minutes in, like, oh my God. Like it was some little kid came to school and he was, oh, we got a little savage. Little savage. Just cracking jokes all about black people dying and killing each other. And he ain't even from the city. And he knew what he was doing was BS because he never showed his face. So he knew what he was doing was wrong. He keep playing like this. Somebody gonna visit him. Somebody gonna come on his steps, and he gonna get caught slipping somewhere. He think just because he's staying by his house, he's safe. Somebody who really loves somebody, they gonna really come see you. They gonna really put a stop to your nonsense. People are sick of it, man.
Speaking of which, right? I mean, I've always said I felt like, and since the XXL cover just came out recently, the new one, I always felt like the class you were on, 2014, was probably the last class that we look at and we could. Well, I mean, it's a little bit closer to the other ones, but where we could definitely say this was a standout year. I mean, what do you think about the classes that followed you guys and the one that just like was announced? Because I heard you rap about it. You called it the slow class. I'm not sure if we were talking about this year, but why?
I had actually did that verse before they did the
I
cover.
told you he was gonna have a good one for that one. Yeah, he got you. Oh, you let him get you, man. Get that nigga.
Nah, I'm asking.
Go for that shit.
I did that verse before they did. I did it like 4 days before.
When did it come out?
I did it on a Friday and it came out on a Tuesday.
That might have been true.
And they held it until the day when.
No. However, you still say
the new cover. I mean, yeah, I feel like it's pretty lackluster. You know, I feel like it's been pretty lackluster, and that's kind of like the state of a lot of hip hop. It's just kind of like, you know.
I think Joe would agree with you.
Don't try to make me be angry and mad at
No
anybody.
one's trying to make you
All
angry.
right.
I just said
I'm
a
happy.
statement that was based in fact.
Yeah. All right. So let me, because I don't have a problem with this year's list, right? What do you think, or what do you think is not represented on the list? Or it doesn't have to be this year or last year.
I haven't really dialed into this year's list. I didn't.
Smart.
I just saw the cover and shit, and I didn't like really look too closely. But so what was the question? What is?
Yeah, I mean, what do you think is missing? Because I also like maybe from last year, you've called out Yachty before. I'm not sure if it's because he's not rapping as much or he can't rap as well. So I'm wondering,
I felt like missing from the cover was actually like some hip hop, you know. I think and some lyricism.
Okay,
you know, just bars. Some bars was missing. There was 0 bars. That's all.
Right.
0. I don't remember who's on the cover, so.
Well, I'm thinking about last year and this year in terms of bars. Well, there's rappers on there that can rap, but their hits or notable songs have no bars.
I don't care enough about the cover to discuss it further.
Yeah. All right.
All right, and we're done here. You want to move on to you're down to do some news with us, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so we've been talking about XXXTentacion a lot and his crazy stage.
Oh,
time.
actually, I hate to back up. I'm sorry. I didn't want to ask you about. I'm sorry.
It's about what you say. Now, if you're going to cover something, you see how we just covered this? Did we glorify any violence? But see, you're one of those people too, blinded by stupidity. You just want some attention. So you just say the same stupid things just to try to get some attention.
All right.
That's
What,
okay. Joe usually does
what do you
this.
think about the state of Chicago rap these days?
Chicago rap. You know, I think we always got pioneers in Chicago. We've had a lot of different waves, and I'm excited to see and kind of waiting to see if there's a new thing coming out of Chicago. But you know,
Like a new movement?
like some new artists, because you know, when me and Chance were coming up doing our thing in the city heavy, I mean, we've had a whole movement.
Because he's the head of the snake. He's the head of the snake. Okay, he started this with the war in Chirac. And all these other people are imitating him. So why go after the imitators when I'm going after the main source? Him. He don't care if I go after the minions. And you basically are not holding his feet to the fire. You trying to justify it by being cynical, saying, well, what about him? What about him? What about them? You can't do that here. That's avoiding the fact, and you're trying to change the channel and take away the accountability from academics. No, he's being held accountable here. Yeah, see, they don't really show this part. Vic was keeping his cool and being professional.
Of artists from all different angles, you know, and then you had drill as a scene that was like everybody was biting their flows all over, and right now I'm just, you know, peeping to see if there's something new coming out of Chicago. That's all.
Do you feel drill is like done? Because you also mentioned that you felt you were a little bit repulsed by the fact that so many people outside the culture of Chicago, they hyped up the music, not knowing that real lives were being affected, deaths and other type of madness happened within the music, and the music was a real life depiction of that. Like, how did you feel about that?
I wanted to slap you in your face, honestly. And I'm just seeing you here, so I'm like, this is a tame environment, so I would keep it to my words, but I really felt as if people exactly like you sensationalized and made a following off of clowning situations that we go through in real life. And I think, you know, niggas ain't had no right. You know, you specifically, like, you ain't never have a right. Like, whatever made you feel like you had a space to have a perspective on our people dying on a daily basis? Like,
Exactly. And he used the word I said, sensationalized. Because that's exactly what he did, and that's how he built his following.
Okay, so when I saw drill, and you could definitely chime in. When I saw drill was so hyped up by everyone. I had to give a different perspective of what that was for people to realize that's not cool. And whether you agreed with it, right? And again, you're very close, you're involved in it. Chief Keef didn't like me, Dirk didn't like me. I mean, I think they grew to understand that the content was not just negative, right?
No, it was clowny. It was just negative, man.
No.
Like, come on, boy.
You don't think it was nothing constructive about it?
There was nothing constructive about it. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. I really think you're a bitch. Because
in what sense?
Because there's a video that you put up about a person named Trey 57 making all these jokes. Oh, here's another Chirac savage. Like, this guy's stupid. He messed with the Grim Reaper. Like, nigga, this is not a video game. That's a nigga I grew up with. I've known since I was 5 years old. And to see you come on the internet and, like, with this corny ass little voice and make jokes about it, like, you know, I was waiting to see you. And it's a couple people waiting to see you. I heard you say you didn't want to come to Chicago when I sat down, because you clearly don't, because you really couldn't even stand outside. You get chased out the mall.
Wait, I do get love in Chicago though. Like, I mean,
the mall, DJ Akademiks.
I mean, truth be told, there's a mixed reaction.
You know, you can't deal with that. You not.
Wait, so you act like there's no love for me in Chicago?
No.
I wish I'd have known.
And you need
I wouldn't have put him in that seat. I would have sat there.
No.
When you talk about real niggas, man, from a real place.
I follow Vic. I follow the Chicago scene. The Chicago scene I've covered a lot. Here's where I disagree with you with, right? I understand. No, I can't say my part.
No, you can't.
Okay, no.
I mean,
So I disagree that it was just all clowning, right? Now there's satire used, right? And I know exactly what you're talking about. It's one shot right, by the way, if you guys don't know. But I always had that positive message. Yo, y'all got to cut it out.
Satire is a form of clowning.
No. Yeah, but it's not on some like with no type of responsibility. Always offered
Zero
advice.
responsibility.
Satire,
Man. That's like
when I
you
look
sitting
up-
in your fucking.
Wait, zero responsibility when I'm offering advice at times, and I'm
offering
also
advice. Who made you eligible to even weigh in? You sitting at a computer, jacking
Everybody
off,
weighs in.
fucking typing.
Wait.
Typing
Everybody
about
weighs
real,
in on everything.
Talking about real life. You talking about real shit. What you know about that, bro?
No, doesn't everybody weigh in on
What
everything?
Not in that way. You really built a following off of clowning our people that I really know. And you know what's fucked up about it and why I said the things I said to you is because were we to be in a room, there's no cameras, there's no security, you see us, you wouldn't make no jokes. You wouldn't make a single joke.
Well, first of all, I gave an
That's
outside
right.
perspective.
Would you make a joke? Would you make a joke?
A joke about what?
No,
That
he
was-
wouldn't
okay, give me some.
Hey, don't waste my camera time. He wouldn't make the joke.
You wouldn't make the
He
joke.
wouldn't make the joke.
So
No,
don't
wait,
just
which-
be sitting like a fucking, you know, like an internet gangster. talking
I've
about
never
like making.
I don't think you understand me, truth be told, because
Well-
I never portray myself.
Well, on
And
another
the
show,
reason I
we
say
can
that is
understand
because
you.
those are ballsy things to say that you said. Those are ballsy things to say, not coming from a ballsy person. Pause. But those are brave things to say, and I don't take you for a brave man. I really think that that's cowardice. I think that entire perspective that I'm gonna make a life off of joking about these young black men killing each other, that's coward shit, man. And you wouldn't say it to nobody when the cameras is
Let me
on.
ask you a question. Like, so you expected me to cover drill music, everything around it, but not like how do you cover that?
Who told you to make a video series? You're not even from Chicago, called The War in Chirac, where you go into the smallest details of like murders. What is that? Like that's, you know what? That's just like, that's parasitic. That's what they do to our culture from the outside. And that's exactly what you do to our culture from the outside.
I cover music. I have
That's not music. I'm talking
you can't
about
have a series
that's
called
not-
War in Chirac.
That's right. That's not music. You covered a shooting that happened in a school. Nobody had nothing to do with rap. Half of the stuff he was covering had nothing to do with rap. Talking about, oh, it's drill music. No, it's not just all drill music. And this is why me and Whack 100 had this conversation. And I'm like, Whack, you really talking about what you don't know about. And I told you, I told Whack, get Akademiks on the phone. Call your boss. Get him on the phone. He know me. Tell him to get on the phone. Right, exactly. I'm like, get your boss on the phone then. I thought, like I said, I thought you was a boss, Whack. I thought you was using Akademiks as a mule like everybody else who was smart. They were just using him. You stupid, but I was like, okay, you just a bodyguard. That's just all you is. You hired him. Other than that, you serve no purpose for him. That's why you wiping the table for two white boys. But you a boss. They got you wiping the tables. They just interviewed that guy, right? Youngin Ace. Didn't Academics just interview him? Do you know why they interviewed him? Because they knew he about to die or go to jail. So they said, let's interview this black man. Let's bring him on in here for an interview so he could talk about this incident. And then, did Academics ever air that yet? Because if he aired it, he really finna get it. Because if he aired it, that's what they gonna do. That's what Vlad do. Vlad looked to do that because they parasitic. Like he said, that's what they do. Exploit, they die, boom. I'm gonna run a replay on it and throw their videos up. He released it right after the murders. After they got arrested for the murders. Wow. So he put the interview up on YouTube for real? That's just, man, if that isn't the most sickest thing, and this what's wrong with our culture. We'll follow that. A parasitic guy like that. Man, that just sick to my stomach. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here, man. Go outside and enjoy life, real life, and people. And you know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. Promoting death. It's the sickest thing I've ever seen.